What in the absolute world is happening right now? You could not make this up if you tried. The internet is on fire, the palace walls are vibrating, and somewhere in Montecito, a prince is very possibly having a meltdown for the ages. We have just been hit with a thermonuclear leak so devastating, so perfectly timed, it feels less like gossip and more like an act of geopolitical warfare. The curtain has been ripped back, the discreet whispers have become deafening shouts, and the story Meghan Markle has been selling us for a decade is lying in tatters at our feet. We are not talking about recycled rumors. We are talking about a direct, sourced, and utterly damning allegation from one of the most powerful men on the planet, implicating Meghan in a world of transactional relationships that Harry was either too naive or too willfully blind to see. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia has, according to elite circles now finally speaking, exposed the entire game. He has pulled the receipt, as it were, on those infamous pre-royal yacht nights. And the word being used isn't friendship, it isn't networking. The word being used is paid. Let that sink in. Paid private yacht nights. And Harry, he has been left absolutely reeling. A man who traded a kingdom for a fantasy, now staring at the bill he never knew existed. This is it, the moment the entire narrative crumbles. We've all seen the photos over the years, haven't we? Meghan, the struggling actress, somehow globe-trotting on mega yachts in the Mediterranean, rubbing shoulders with billionaires and royalty from the Gulf states. We were told it was networking. We were told it was savvy. Her defenders screamed it was sexist to even ask how she got there, but they never ever had an answer for the how. How does a woman whose biggest role was a cable TV supporting part afford the entry ticket to a world where a bottle of champagne costs more than her annual rent? How does she become a regular fixture in Monaco, in Sardinia, on vessels that are floating palaces? The answer, according to these explosive new leaks from Middle Eastern sources, is as old as time itself. She was facilitated. She was placed. She was, in the cold, hard language of that elite strata, professional company. And someone has finally decided the truth is more valuable than her silence. This isn't a random tabloid story. This is a calculated detonation from inside the very circles Meghan once navigated. The timing is a masterpiece of malice. Here is Meghan, desperately trying to rebrand herself as a humble lifestyle guru, a loving mother, a philanthropist, launching another Netflix series about her authentic life. She wants to be seen as the relatable duchess who escaped the oppressive palace. And just as that image is being polished for public consumption, a bomb goes off. Fresh, never-before-seen photographs are leaked, not the grainy ones we've argued over for years. Crystal clear images from private collections that show her not as a wide-eyed guest, but as a comfortable, seasoned participant in these ultra-exclusive gatherings. She's not on the periphery, she is in the thick of it, smiling, clinking glasses with men whose wealth and influence defies imagination. And the sources, people connected to Saudi and Emirati elite families, are no longer being discreet. They are talking. And what they are saying confirms every single suspicion her critics have ever voiced. They're describing a system, a well-oiled, discreet network where beautiful, ambitious people are introduced to powerful, wealthy ones. It's a world of unspoken agreements, of luxurious travel as compensation, of absolute discretion being the only currency that matters. You provide excellent company, you maintain the connections, you never ever speak a word of what you see or who you meet. And for years, Meghan benefited from this system. She was, by all accounts emerging now, very good at it. She studied the players, she mirrored their interests, she made herself valuable. This is how she leapt from the B-list of Hollywood to the A-list of international jet-setters overnight. This is how she afforded the wardrobe, the travel, the lifestyle that made her a plausible match for a prince. It wasn't talent from Suits, it was training from a far more ruthless academy. And then she met Harry, the ultimate connection, the final glorious door to be opened. And when she walked through it, she slammed it shut behind her and pretended that whole previous world never existed. She rebranded herself as a humanitarian actress who just happened to find love. She dismissed any questioning of her past as racist, sexist, intrusive harassment. She weaponized her new royal-adjacent status as a shield against any scrutiny. But the people from that old world, they were watching. They had the photos, they knew the arrangements, and they kept quiet because discretion is the rule. But what happens when the person you were discreet for becomes a global celebrity who constantly paints herself as a victim, who attacks other institutions, who rewrites history with herself as the perpetual heroine? Eventually, someone gets offended. Someone decides the contract of silence has been broken by her very public performance, and they release the evidence. Imagine being Prince Harry right now. Imagine the scale of the betrayal he must be feeling. This is a man who gave up everything, his family, his country, his role, his security, for a woman he believed was this misunderstood, mistreated angel. He went to war with his own flesh and blood for her. He sat on international television and accused his family of racism and neglect. He wrote a memoir spilling their most private pains. He did this all under the banner of protecting my family, of chasing a truth that was in reality a narrative she helped write. And now the actual truth comes knocking from the desert with photographic receipts. The suggestion that the luxurious world she inhabited before him wasn't born of her own successful hustle, but a transactional dynamic he, as a born royal, would find utterly abhorrent. The prince who hated the press intrusion into his mother's life is now faced with the possibility that her life was an open secret in circles he never frequented. The irony is so thick you could choke on it. Let's contrast this, as we always must, with the people Meghan and Harry have spent years vilifying, William and Catherine. What is their scandal? That they are too formal? That they work too hard? That they don't emote enough on cue? Their pasts are an open book, vetted to within an inch of their lives. Catherine's yacht photos are from family holidays and charity events. William's past is one of normal university mischief and dedicated military service. They built a relationship slowly, under the intensest scrutiny imaginable, and they did it with a shared understanding of duty. They didn't have hidden chapters in Monte Carlo funded by mysterious benefactors. Their power comes from inheritance and service, not from being clever players in a shadowy international network. Meghan painted them as the villains, the cold institution holding her back. But who is facing allegations of a truly compromising past now? The future king and queen, steadfast and transparent, or the American Duchess whose origin story is now being exposed as a potential fairy tale written on someone else's dime? The public reaction says it all. This isn't just trending on Twitter. This is being dissected on forums, on TikTok, by people who feel a deep sense of validation. For years, anyone who questioned Meghan's rapid rise was shouted down as a troll. Now, those questions don't seem so crazy, do they? The hashtags aren't just about the photos, they're about the hypocrisy. Hashtag paid princess is trending. People are connecting the dots in real time, from the yachts to Soho House where she met Harry through a well-connected member, to the swift royal engagement, to the lucrative deals that followed. It paints a picture not of a fairy tale, but of a relentless, ambitious climb where every relationship was a stepping stone. Harry wasn't the destination, he was the ultimate platform, and now that platform is crumbling under the weight of its own contradictions. What does this mean for their power, their relevance, their brand? It's catastrophic. Their entire brand was built on perceived authenticity, on being the truth tellers, on being different from these stuffy, deceitful royals. But this leak exposes Meghan as potentially the greatest performer of them all. The Netflix deals, the Spotify podcasts, the endless victim narrative, it all starts to look like just another act, a continuation of the same survival skills she honed on those yachts.
Who would buy a lifestyle brand from someone whose own lifestyle is now shrouded in such scandalous allegations? Who would listen to her advice on love and marriage when her own husband is reportedly shell-shocked by these revelations? Their influence was always a house of cards, built on sympathetic media and public curiosity. This is a hurricane wind. The money, the fame, the relevance, it was all predicated on the world buying the story, and the story just got a savage, irreversible rewrite. So where does this leave us? With a prince who looks more lost than ever, a man who traded reality for a mirage and is now dying of thirst in the desert, with a duchess whose every move now will be seen through this devastating new lens. Her silence right now is deafening. Where is the statement? Where is the lawsuit? Where is the fierce, litigious pushback we saw for so much less? There is only a deafening, telling quiet. Because what can she say? These are photos from private albums she never thought would see the light of day. These are sources from a world that operates on codes she violated by becoming a global narrative rebel. You can't sue a Gulf state royal for telling the truth in their own circles. You can't spin this as a tabloid fabrication when the images are pristine and the sources are unimpeachable within that world. This is more than a scandal. This is a reckoning. It's a stark lesson that no matter how much you try to control the narrative, the past has a way of settling its accounts. You can run from a palace, but you can't run from the people who knew you before you were a duchess. You can shame a prince into renouncing his birthright, but you can't shame the billionaires who have nothing to lose by telling their side. Meghan Markle played a high-stakes game in a world far more powerful and permanent than the British monarchy. She used its rules to climb, then left and broke the cardinal rule of silence. And now, that world is speaking. It is exposing the mechanics behind the magic. And Prince Harry is left holding the bag, a bag he now realizes was purchased long before he ever arrived with a currency he never understood. This saga is far from over. If this is the first leak, what else is sitting in a vault in Riyadh or Dubai? What other stories are those elite circles willing to tell now that the veil is off? Meghan's entire pre-royal life is now a valid topic of investigation, and the investigators have unlimited resources and zero fear of her PR team. For Harry, the coming days will be a test of heartbreaking proportions. Does he double down on the fantasy, attacking the messengers as part of the global press machine out to get them, or does he finally wake up, look at the evidence piling up around him, and realize the scale of the deception? One thing is for certain, the yacht has sailed, the party is over, and the bill has just been presented, and the whole world is watching to see who pays. If this breakdown of the most explosive royal story in years has left you shocked, furious, or just nodding in grim validation, you need to let me know in the comments below. What do you think Harry does now? Do you believe these sources? And what else do you think is going to come out? Smash a like on this video if you want me to keep delivering these unfiltered breakdowns, and hit subscribe and that notification bell so you don't miss the next inevitable chapter in this car crash. This is far from over, and you will not want to miss what happens next. For all of us here, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the comments.